Hey, everybody! It's Friday, so it's Friday NITA Talk. Hope you're doing well. Today, I want to talk about the 5 hinges. Now, I can't take credit for this at all. This has totally come out of an amazing book, which I am highly recommending. It's called The Legacy Lessons of Wealth by Frank Aucoin. It is available on Amazon. I'm going to give him a plug. I just finished reading this and it is phenomenal. And I thought I was going to take a few minutes to just share these 5 hinges and a little bit of what he says. I won't talk about it too much because I really cannot encourage you enough to read this book. Whether you're whatever you're doing, whether you're, a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, you're a business professional, you are an entrepreneur, whatever it is, if you're young, old, it doesn't matter. This is one of the most phenomenal books I've ever read, but this particular chapter is amazing on the concept of 5 hinges. And I'm going to read them to you, and I'm going to read a little bit about what it is, but essentially the gist of it is that 80 to 90% of your success is going to be coming from you doing these 5 hinges. Isn't that an incredible statistic? And once I read them to you, you're going to really understand what I mean by that. Now, the 5 hinges are simple but not easy. This is what he says. But not practicing them ensures a life of mediocrity and regret. These 5 hinges are habits and philosophies used by successful people to get things done, to have a more productive life, career, create lifelong friends, business associates, happier marriages. 5 filters that successful people, how they choose their friends, who they work with. It will filter out who creates stress and chaos in your life and the ones that support you. Amazing. This is exactly what I mean. And when I read these 5 things to you and you start to really think about them, it promise me you're going to look at it and go, oh my gosh, I'm either one of those, or I'm surrounded by them, or those are some of the chaotic people in my life. No wonder that my life is chaos, or they're always causing problems. And the other thing I started to realize as I read this was that if we practice it, and if you have children or children around you, they're going to model this. They're going to mimic it. And if you don't practice it, or they're surrounded by people who don't practice these 5 hinges, they also won't be. And I think, particularly as an adult, as a parent, I think it's our responsibility to make sure that we're teaching these 5 hinges to the next generation, because they're the ones who are going to take over the world, right? That next generation. But it's our generation who teaches and models them. So let me share with you these 5 hinges. Hinge number 1, which really is the number 1, even though there's 5 and you might say, well, they're equally weighted. They're really not. This one is truly the most important, quite honestly. Be respectful to everybody all the time. So being respectful to someone's time, being on time for them. If you're late, you're being disrespectful to you and to them. Being respectful in how you talk to them, how you say hello, look them in the eyes. And I mean respectful to everybody. I'm talking anybody who's on the street, who is homeless, all the way to someone who's serving you, to a CEO of a company. Everybody, just make a decision that you're respectful to everybody out in the public and respectful in your own family as well. Number 2, be on time and be prepared. Again, comes back to a bit respect, but being on time, valuing your time, but valuing the other person's time as well. Sometimes we're like, oh, it's okay, it's not a big deal, but honestly, it really is. It's important to be on time and be prepared for it. Are you really ready? Are you ready for that meeting? Are you ready for that interview? Are you ready for and prepare at all times, or are you wasting time? Number 3, do what you say you're going to do. If you say you're going to call someone, call them. If you're going to follow up with them, follow up. If you're supposed to get something done and you promise someone you would, get it done. Even if it's your spouse, your partner, your children, if you say you're going to do something, do it. Hinge number 3. Hinge number 4, finish what you start. Get started, do it. Do you get it to completion? Or do you have tons of projects around your house that are only like 80 or 90% completed that you never got done? Make a commitment to yourself and your family and your life that you're going to finish them. 5, say thank you and please in that order. See, I'm just reading it right off the page. Thank you. Say thank you as often as you can. Say please as often as you can to everybody. Even in your own family, when someone does something nice for you or hands you a glass of water or makes a nice meal for you, say thank you. Say please every time. There's a level of respect to yourself, not just to the other person, by being polite and saying those things all the time. Now, of course, we're never going to be perfect and 100% perfect in all 5 of these hinges every single day and every single time. But if you honor and remember these 5 things and you do them often, you will truly, I believe, change your life if those are at your forefront, and change those people around you. And you're going to probably find that if you start doing them, you'll really notice those around you that don't, and maybe they shouldn't be so integral into your life circle. Remember, laws of association. And if you have young people around you, young children or nieces and nephews or other young people around you, if you start doing them, you'll start to notice if they're not, and you can correct them because now you're role modeling. So remember, you're worth it. Please follow my YouTube channel as well. Anita Sarda, E2E, Employee to Entrepreneur. I really appreciate you. Remember, you're worth it, and I'll see you next Friday.